Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. There just isn't anything like this chanting. There's just nothing like it. Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna. You can describe it in so many different ways. Oh, the chanting is like this, and the chanting helps you with that. And if you do the chanting, then, you'll get this, You can do like that. But the only way to really understand the chanting is to chant. Hare Krishna. What is it? Like, you got a jar of honey, right? And you're describing it, Well, it's kind of golden color, and it comes from bees, and it's really sweet, and it's very healthy, and it turns very liquidy with heat, and you can describe it in so many ways. Chemical composition. But to really get it about the honey is, you have to taste it. You just take the lid off and taste it. So the chanting is like that. Oh yeah, the chanting's very nice, and it frees you from material conception of life, and so many things. Hare Krishna, Krishna. That's all right. You can describe it so nice ways. But you really don't get it until you actually chant. Then it becomes more clear. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So, I think we'll read a little bit more from Krishna book, the prayers of the Vedas personified. There's a couple more mantras. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So the ocean's funny in the sense that sometimes you can't tell whether the tide is coming in or going up. Because you get like one big wave comes in, and then a lot of lesser waves. So it might look like the tide's going out. But then you get another bigger wave that's even bigger than the big wave that just came, and then you realize, oh, the tide's coming in. Sometimes it looks like the tide's going out. It's receding. So this Hare Krishna movement is sometimes compared to the ocean. And it's increasing. Although sometimes it looks like, oh, it's receding. No. The tide is coming in. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. And along the beach, there's different little critters, animals. So there's little sand crabs. And the tide's coming in, and they run. Hare Krishna, and then it goes out, and then, they go back down. And then the water comes in, and they run. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare. If it's the desire of the Lord, no one can stop it. And it's His desire. We have reliable information. The Lord wants to deliver the entire universe in a very special way, in the mood of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Ram Sankirtan, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Hare Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. There is nothing quite like this chanting. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Alright, what do we have here? Little Krishna Katha, a summary study of the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. The summary study is by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Krishna Chaitanya. And this is chapter, in this edition, chapter 86. Prayers by the Personified Vedas. These are the prayers that are offered to the Lord when he's getting ready to reawaken after the dissolution of the material universe. He lies in a slumber, asleep. And then when it's time to create again, this is Vishnu form, time to manifest the material activities again, the personified Vedas offer these prayers to him. And it's described, it's like when a king is sleeping, there used to be kings. When a king was sleeping, the reciters would come, instead of an alarm clock, the reciters would come and they would sing prayers and praise the activities of the king to awaken him to his ruling, his duties for ruling his domain. So it's like that. Hare Krishna. All right, I think that this is where we left off. These statements of the personified Vedas give clear evidence that Vedic literature is presented only for understanding Krishna. It is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita that through all the Vedas, it is Krishna alone who has to be understood. Krishna is always enjoying either in the material world or in the spiritual world because he's the supreme enjoyer. For him, there is no distinction between material world and spiritual world. The material world is an impediment for the ordinary living entities because they're under its control. But Krishna, being the controller of the material world, has nothing to do with the impediments it offers. Therefore, in different parts of the Upanishads, the Vedas declare, Brahman is eternal, full of all knowledge and all bliss, but the one Supreme Personality of Godhead is existing in the heart of every living entity. Because of his all-pervasiveness, he is able to enter not only into the hearts of the living entities, but even into atoms also. As the Supersoul, he is the controller of all activities of the living entities. He's living within all of them and witnessing their actions, allowing them to act according to their desires, and also giving them the results of their different activities. He is the living force of all things. Krishna. But still, he is transcendental to material qualities. He is omnipotent, or as some people say, omnipotent. He is expert in manufacturing everything, and on account of his superior natural knowledge, he can bring everyone under his control. As such, he is everyone's master. He is sometimes manifest on the surface of the globe, but He is simultaneously within all matter. Desiring to expand himself into multiforms, he glanced over the material energy, and thus innumerable living entities became manifest. Everything is created by his superior energy, and everything in his creation appears to be perfectly done without efficiency. Those who aspire for liberation from the material world must therefore worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the ultimate cause of all causes. He's just like the total mass of earth from which varieties of earthly pots are manufactured. The pots are made of earthly clay. They rest on the earth, and after being destroyed, their elements ultimately merge back into earth. Although the personality of Godhead is the original cause of all varieties of manifestation, the impersonalists especially stress the Vedic statement, Sarvam Kalab Idam Brahma. Everything is Brahman. The impersonalists do not take into account the varieties of manifestation emanating from the supreme cause of Brahman. They simply take into consideration that everything emanates from Brahman, and after destruction merges into Brahman, and that the intermediate stage of manifestation is also Brahman. Yeah, they like that pot analogy. The earth pot is made of clay, which is from the earth, and it exists for a little while, and then when it's broken, and it goes back to the earth. They like that. And Prabhupada says, yes, that's what it's like. Krishna is the cause of all causes. But what the impersonalists don't take into account is the variegatedness, the variety of creations. Where does all of that come from? All the different forms, animal forms, human forms, and so on. Where do they all come from? That also comes from the cause of all causes. But they don't take that into account. Although the Mayavadis believe that prior to its manifestation, the cosmos was in Brahman, after creation it remains in Brahman, after destruction it merges into Brahman. They do not know what Brahman is. This fact is clearly described in Brahma Samhita. So they really like the Vedic statement, Sarvam Kala Vidam Brahma. Sarvam Kala Vidam Brahma. Everything is Brahman. The living entities, space, time, material elements like fire, earth, sky, water, and mind constitute the total cosmic manifestation known as Bur Bhuva Swa, which is manifested by Govinda. It flourishes on the strength of Govinda. It's another name for Krishna. And after annihilation enters into and is conserved in Govinda. Lord Brahma therefore says, I worship Lord Govinda, the original personality, the cause of all causes. The word Brahman indicates the greatest of all and the maintainer of everything. The impersonalists are attracted by the greatness of the sky, but because of their poor fund of knowledge, they're not attracted by the greatness of Krishna. In our practical life, however, we are attracted by the greatness of a person and not by the greatness of a big mountain. Actually, yeah, I'd be a little attracted, oh, the mountain's so great. But the greatness of a person is like even more so impressive. Actually, the term Brahman can be applied to Krishna only. Therefore, in the Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna admitted that Lord Krishna is Param Brahman, or the supreme rest of everything. Actually, we can be reminded of Krishna by a big mountain, just because it is great. We can be reminded of Krishna because he says, the bodies of water, I am the ocean. So anything that's great, so-called great, that we may see in our present situation or material eyes or whatever, that greatness can remind us of Krishna, who's the source of all greatness, the person. I had a friend a long time ago. I often wonder how they're doing. I haven't seen them for ages. But they were always very impressed by the ocean. They'd go to the ocean, they would be overwhelmed with the greatness of the ocean. But Krishna is even greater than the ocean. That greatness of the ocean comes from Krishna. Krishna is the Supreme Brahman because of his unlimited knowledge, unlimited potencies, unlimited strength, unlimited influence, unlimited beauty, and unlimited renunciation. Therefore, the word Brahman can be applied to Krishna only. Arjuna affirms that because the impersonal Brahman is the effulgence emanating as rays of Krishna's transcendental body, Krishna is the Param Brahman. Everything's resting on Brahman, but Brahman itself is resting on Krishna. Therefore, Krishna is the ultimate Brahman or Param Brahman. Everything's resting on Brahman, but Brahman is resting on Krishna. The material elements are accepted as inferior energies of Krishna because by their interaction, the cosmic manifestation takes place, rests on Krishna, and after dissolution again enters into the body of Krishna as his subtle energy. Krishna is therefore the cause of both manifestation and dissolution. So the material elements are inferior because they rest in the body of Krishna, and during manifestation they come out of the body of Krishna. Sarvam Kala Vidam Brahma actually means everything is Krishna. And that is the vision of the Mahabhagavatas. They think everything is Brahman, but Prabhupada says they don't know what Brahman is. Brahman is Krishna. Brahman is resting on Krishna. Krishna is the source of the Brahman. So when the devotee hears Sarva Kalam Idam Brahma, they don't hear it as everything is Brahman, as if there's no Krishna, because they know who Brahman is. They see everything in relation to Krishna. The impersonalists argue Krishna has transformed himself into many, and that therefore everything is Krishna, and worship of everything is worship of Krishna. This false argument is answered by Krishna in Bhagavad Gita. They say Krishna has transformed into many, and so everything's Krishna, so everything's worshipable. The false argument is answered by Krishna in Bhagavad Gita. He says, although everything is a transformation of the energy of Krishna, he is not present everywhere. He is simultaneously present and not present. By his energy, he's present everywhere. But as the energetic, he is not present everywhere. This simultaneous presence and non-presence is inconceivable to our present senses. But a clear explanation is given in the beginning of the Upanishad, in which it is stated that the Supreme Lord is so complete that although unlimited energies and their transformations are emanating from Krishna, Krishna's personality is not in the least bit transformed. Therefore, since Krishna is the cause of all causes, intelligent persons should take shelter of his lotus feet. Krishna advises everyone just to surrender unto him alone, and that is the way of Vedic instruction. Since Krishna is the cause of all causes, he is worshipped by all kinds of sages and saints by observance of regulative principles. When there is a necessity for meditation, great personalities meditate on the transcendental form of Krishna within the heart. In this way, the minds of great personalities are always engaged in Krishna. With minds engaged in Krishna, naturally, the captivated devotees simply talk of Krishna. Talking of Krishna or singing of Krishna is called kirtan. Lord Chaitanya also recommended kirtaniya sadahari, which means always thinking and talking of Krishna and nothing else. That is called Krishna consciousness. Krishna consciousness is so sublime that anyone who takes to this process is elevated to the highest perfection of life, far, far beyond the concept of liberation. In the Bhagavad Gita, therefore, Krishna advises everyone to always think of him, render devotional service to him, worship him, offer obeisances to him. In this way, a devotee becomes fully Krishnaized, and being always situated in Krishna consciousness. Krishna. Ultimately goes back to Krishna. Although the Vedas have recommended worship of different demigods and different parts and parcels of Krishna, it is to be understood that such instructions are meant for less intelligent class of men who are still attracted by material enjoyment. But the person who actually wants perfect fulfillment of the mission of life should simply worship Lord Krishna. And that will simplify the matter and completely guarantee the success of his human life. Although the sky, the water, and the land are all part and parcel of the material world, when one stands on the solid land, his position is more secure than when he stands in the sky or on the water. An intelligent person, therefore, does not stand under the protection of different demigods, although they are part and parcel of Krishna. Rather, he stands on the solid ground of Krishna consciousness. That makes his position sound and secure. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Sound and secure. Krishna. Haribo. Chant, chant, chant. Chant, chant, chant. And then chant some more.